to this month's episode of Junk Food on the Road. It's a special edition, Junk Food on the Road, and we are literally on the road right now, driving.
That's probably why its sound quality may not be 100%, and you're going to hear a lot of bumping, and maybe in a bad case you might hear a horn.
Could happen.
Yes. Right now we're in West.
We just passed into West Virginia from Virginia.
Through the mountains.
This is our 7th state today, 6th state.
Sixth state today.
We started in Florida, then we went to Georgia, then South Carolina, then North Carolina, then Virginia. Now we're in West Virginia, and we were hoping before the end of the day to be in Pennsylvania. But the whole reason for us being on the road is that we are now on the way home from Disney World.
Yes. So that's what this episode of Junk Food on the Road will mostly be about, although we might end up talking about the traveling a little bit too.
Maybe. Our original plan was to record this while we were at Disney, but we were too tired.
Yeah. That's the first thing you should know about Disney. It's exhausting.
Yeah. We did too much.
We ate too much too.
We ate too much. We did too much. We didn't sleep enough. We didn't swim in our pool at all because we were just too busy.
Mostly eating.
But we did go to 2 water parks.
Yes. So since this is Junk Food on the Road,
yes,
we should probably talk about...
Can we start with the last thing we ate from Disney?
Sure. What was the last thing we had?
It was that brownie.
Oh, yes. We actually didn't eat it in Disney, but there's one of the best places to get bakery stuff.
Okay, now we're on a bridge.
We're on a bridge. One of the best places to get bakery stuff is the Boardwalk Bakery.
Yum.
And the Boardwalk Bakery is located at the Boardwalk Resort.
Where we stayed.
And it was a brownie with
cheesecake.
Cheesecake on top of it. So instead of icing, it just had cheesecake.
It was so good.
It was pretty good.
And it had those. At Disney, they do these. Sorry, gotta change lanes. They do these little crispy. Sprinkle ball things.
Yeah.
They're almost like a Rice Krispie coated in some sort of candy thing, and they're perfect little spheres.
And they look cool.
They don't add any flavor, but they add a bit of fun texture.
Yeah.
And so the cheesecake brownie had some of that on it as well.
Crispy candies or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but they're really good.
Yep. And it was good. The only my complaint about that brownie was I think the brownie itself could have been denser.
Yeah, but it still tasted really good.
It tasted good, but could have been a little denser. But that's like nitpicking. It's still very good.
My goodness, brownies, yum. Cheesecake, yum. Put them together, holy cow, yum.
Exactly.
I would say the layer of brownie was just a little bit more than twice as thick as the layer of cheesecake.
Yeah.
And that was a very nice proportion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it.
Okay. Now, do you want to talk about the first night we were there? And the very special treat we had?
What did we have the first night?
Remember we were at the Halloween party?
Oh. So we were there during the Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is a fairly sort of popular event. It's a special ticketed event. You have to pay extra, but they have special treats that come with it. And what we had a special edition Halloween spider cupcake.
From the Main Street Bakery. Which is kind of a Starbucks, but also kind of Disney. Yeah,
it's not a standard Starbucks by any means. I mean, I think the coffee is Starbucks, but I think the baked goods and stuff are their own thing.
And that was like super. One thing I did not know, I suspected, but did not know for sure about Disney cupcakes is that they put a ridiculous amount of icing on it.
Yes. We had how many cupcakes? Well, rather than going through an order, since we're discussing cupcakes, let's discuss the Disney cupcakes that we had.
Okay. So we had the spider cupcake,
which was the best.
I think
probably.
That was chocolate.
Yes.
With an orange butter icing on top.
Yeah.
With like those crunchy little sugar sprinkles in orange.
For its eyes.
And little chocolate rolls for legs.
It was very cute and very fun.
Yeah.
Then there was...
we had the Goofy Birthday cupcake.
Which was just a standard cupcake with...
It was vanilla with white icing. A ridiculous amount of white icing.
Sprinkles.
Colorful sprinkles. Like those hard candy colorful sprinkles.
Yeah.
Like birthday cake color.
Jimmy's. And there were sprinkles inside it too, remember?
Yes, and it had sprinkles but the sprinkles melted in and it was really cool.
Yeah, and then it had a little goofy chocolate hat and goofy chocolate ears.
Yeah.
That was cute.
That was really cute.
Then we also went to the Star Wars dessert party.
Yes.
And we got Darth Vader.
There were 3 kinds of cupcakes.
Darth Vader,
there.
R2D2, and BB-8 cupcakes. Biggest disappointment, the BB-8 cupcake for me.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat lemon, so.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
Yeah, you did not have an R2D2 cupcake.
I did not.
It was very good. There was a little R2D2 in white chocolate, sort of painted with R2D2 on it on top. Very nice touch. They were all mini cupcakes.
Which was good.
Yeah, and it was a white cupcake with sort of a bluish icing.
Yeah.
And it was, I thought it was delicious.
It was okay.
Again, it was like, there was about 2/3 as much icing as there was cake. Like, there's just so much icing.
But the star was the Darth Vader cupcake.
The Darth Vader cupcake was spectacular. I remember you were a little bit disappointed about the cake part of that cupcake, but I wasn't.
Well, it was a chocolate peanut butter, and all it was peanut butter flavoring in the chocolate icing.
I liked it.
I was okay with, that was a little...
Your problem was you ate all the icing before you ate the cake.
Maybe.
I ate the cake and the icing together, and it was a very nice mix.
It had a little chocolate Darth Vader head on it. Which is kind of fun. And there was other stuff. The blue milk panna cotta. If you're a Star Wars fan, you'll love it. If you're not, it's just panna cotta.
I did not like the panna cotta. It was kind of unremarkable for me.
But it had a kitschy value.
I suppose.
It had a novelty. So that's why people liked it. And that's also, well, I guess we're talking about this. It was a Nutella mousse that they put in liquid nitrogen, and then they sort of try and smash it for you, and you eat it. They put like some sauce on it.
Yeah.
Remarkably, it sounds like the greatest idea in the world. Remarkably not interesting.
It was so disappointing.
Yeah.
The creamy Nutella part in the middle was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But it was like, I expected it to be crunchy on the outside, but it was just like Nutella rubber.
Yeah, it was kind of chewy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. The cream might have made a nice icing for a cupcake.
Yeah.
But it didn't really work. It was okay. It was okay. It was kind of a neat novelty watching them do it.
Yeah.
But then
they put you could get it with either raspberry sauce or chocolate sauce on top.
Yeah.
So that was okay. I really liked the raspberry one because it gave that sort of extra flavor. Yeah, the contrast of flavors.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It's interesting if you want to try it. It's good for the show, but it's, don't order a dozen of them thinking they'll be the greatest thing on earth, because, man.
Yeah, and there were other things at the dessert party that were okay. There was that little mini chocolate cake, which was kind of neat.
Yeah. Some skewers of different things.
Like savory skewers.
There were some fruit skewers too.
That's true. There was
ice cream. There was that pudding.
The bread pudding was so good.
Bread pudding with the weirdest toppings. You wouldn't believe it. M&Ms and pretzels on top of your bread pudding. And it worked.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So that was the dessert party. I'm trying to think if there's any other cupcakes we tried.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
Not Disney ones. We had a sprinkles cupcake.
We did have a sprinkles cupcake.
We had 2. We had a no sugar added red velvet and a caramel.
Salted caramel.
Salted caramel. Both were good.
Both were good. I have to say, I'm not I don't understand red velvet. I'll say that. I don't understand. It doesn't taste red to me or anything. It's just a neat color. But for some reason, I really liked that red velvet cupcake. I think it was the cream cheese icing on it.
Well, the one thing I find about sprinkles, and even the one was no sugar added cupcake, and one was a regular cupcake. But the regular one, even as with the no sugar added, wasn't sweet. The cake wasn't overly sweet. The cake had flavor, but it didn't have just ridiculous sweetness. The icing was nice and sweet, but you had this nice contrast. So it wasn't just the sickly sweet cake. It really, the flavor was the king of those cupcakes. It was really good. I really enjoyed that about both of them. The only disappointing thing I could say about the sprinkles cupcake is the little candy things on them were weird.
Yeah, they weren't good.
I would take them off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not losing any money throwing that out.
It was fun though, because and I really did like that red velvet cupcake.
Yeah. Speaking of red velvet, we recently.
Our very first.
Whoopie pie.
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It was like a cake with super amount of icing in the middle of it.
Yeah. No, it was fun. You ate yours like a sandwich, and I ate mine with a knife and fork.
Yes. Like a civilized human being.
Well, I was just afraid. I was afraid I was going to get it all over myself. And I think we were going to be leaving that day.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. So I just didn't want to spend like 3 hours in the car with like whoopie pie crumbs in my lap and cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing, another famous dessert that we had there was the gray stuff.
Yes.
So we went to Be Our Guest restaurant, which
Twice,
which is an extremely hard reservation. We're very fortunate. And the travel tip here: plan ahead as much as possible for Disney if you can.
Yeah.
You will get what you want if you plan ahead. You can get that Frozen Fast Pass. You can get that Be Our Guest restaurant
Although
reservation.
there were some people that planned ahead and still couldn't get the Frozen Fast Pass.
It's a difficult one, but you know.
We only got it because we stayed 11 nights.
Yeah.
And we got the Frozen Fast Pass for our last day.
Yeah.
Because if you're staying, your 180 days, you can book reservations for restaurants 180 days before your start date, and you can book through your entire time there up to a maximum of 10 days or something. And for your fast passes, if you're staying at the resort, you can book 60 days in advance of your first day for your whole vacation.
Yeah.
So that's really key.
It's math
like
worth
the really,
doing.
really hard things to get. And that includes people who stay at the value resorts, which are way more expensive than the Hilton, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah. But so we went to Be Our Guest twice. Both meals were good. Second meal was a little nicer, I thought.
I think that we were more comfortable with the place.
Yeah.
We knew the drill.
Yeah.
And we had studied the menu, and we had a plan. And
But
we had that cream cheese cupcake.
We should talk about the gray stuff.
Okay, the gray
That's
stuff.
what everybody talks about.
I know.
Okay, so
And we had it both times because they gave it to me for my birthday.
Yeah, the second time. But the gray stuff, for those that don't know, sort of the origin comes from the song "Be Our Guest," where at one point one of the lines in the song it says, "Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me, ask the dishes," implying that there's this gray stuff that doesn't look good, but it's actually quite good. So when they opened this restaurant, they decided to make something called the gray stuff, and it's a dessert. It's like a creamy. I think they describe.
It's kind of a mousse.
They describe it as like a moussey sort of custardy thing, and it's gray. From the secret to it,
do we want to give out the secret?
Sure.
Okay.
So the secret is, and I heard this from our waiter as well.
Spoiler alert!
Is crushed Oreos, and apparently it's only Oreos because they're the only thing that's actually black enough. So they really grind them up, and then they sort of make them into this moussey stuff.
But they don't put the cream in the core Oreos.
No, just the cookie. And so you get this gray sort of pile, and they always make it look fancy. The way you order it tends to be on this flourless brownie, which actually was a big disappointment.
I wasn't as disappointed with it as you. I was surprised at how crunchy it was.
Yeah.
But I still thought it had a nice flavor.
And then it's sort of got a layer of the gray stuff on top. So if you order it, that's what you get.
My second thing of gray stuff was just a pile of gray stuff done in the shape of Mickey Mouse's head.
And I think if you're celebrating something there, I think that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like I saw a couple other people doing birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. And
I also think that it depends on your server.
yeah. We had a really good server last night. I forget his name.
Yeah, I forget it.
was
Terry,
really-
I think, but
Yeah.
he was amazing though.
Yeah.
Well, our first server was also excellent.
Excellent servers all around, actually.
Yeah. And the food itself was amazing.
Very good. Limited menu, but very good.
The braised pork, I know it's not junk food, but the braised pork was unbelievable. Huge portion, I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, portions in Disney in general, insane.
Massive.
Absolutely insane. Every meal you get, it's like massive portions. The idea, a lot of tips and stuff that people will give you about Disney is order one thing and share it. Highly recommend that as much as possible.
We tried at one of the quick service places, just ordering a meal plus an appetizer and sharing it.
We couldn't get through it.
We ate like half of that.
Yeah.
And we're not shy about eating.
Exactly.
For the most part.
The other thing that, speaking of portions, we should talk about a certain ice cream break we took, which was at Beaches and Cream.
Beaches and Cream at the Yacht Club and Beach Club.
Yacht Club, again, great stuff off-site, well worth trying. And we went to the Beaches and Cream, and we had something, and we got sort of a regular. I got a hot dog, and I think you got, what did you get there? A Reuben, wasn't it?
It was a Reuben, yeah.
A Reuben. But then the ice cream is what's known there. They have a very famous thing, which we saw somebody get, called the kitchen sink, which consists of like 16 scoops of ice cream, an entire can of whipped cream, a whole thing, handful of cherries, every single topping. Every single topping.
Like every single topping they have. Like they have a lot of toppings.
Yeah, they have a lot of toppings at this place.
And they say it serves 4, but seriously, that could serve 10.
10, yeah.
And we watched 3 people get it.
Yeah, we didn't finish it though. The nice thing you should know if you're ever there is a good tip. They will give you bowls to separate, so you're not just eating it straight out of the kitchen sink bowl that they give you.
But they do make a big announcement when they bring it out.
Yeah.
So don't think that you're going to be like quietly able to chow down on like a gallon and a half of ice cream without anybody knowing.
No, the whole world knows you're a pig.
Yeah, and I got the grilled banana bread peanut butter sandwich with ice cream on top.
Yeah.
And whipped cream. And the waiter overheard me saying something about, like, there was one of the things where it said you can pick your own flavor of ice cream. And I remember saying, I wonder if I could do that with the banana bread thing. And so then when he actually ordered it, he goes, and would you like the vanilla ice cream on it that it comes with? And I was like, no, I want the butter pecan.
So there's a good tip. If you're not happy with the ice cream flavors that are offered, they'll customize everything.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And it's the same even with the kitchen sink, from what I understand. Like, we were asking about the mini kitchen sink, and they basically said you could get whatever you wanted. Like, the number of scoops is sort of what counts, and the number of toppings is what counts. But if you want to alter it, if you want something a little different, if you want all brownies instead of cake and all the toppings up, completely doable.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, they're very, very good about that.
Can we also talk about the trick-or-treating?
Okay, we went to the Halloween thing, and they have trick-or-treating. I've heard some people, sort of Disney experts, say that the trick-or-treating is kind of a waste of time, because why would you go just to get free candy when you could just buy candy, considering it's an extra pay event, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like $80 or something a person.
Yeah, but I actually quite enjoy the trick-or-treating.
Yeah, that was really fun, because you get to get a line up, and you can open up your bag, and you say, trick-or-treat! And they give you, like, they have a big variety of treats.
And it's real candy. It's not just like Disney cheap candy or something like that. It's like Skittles and Snickers bars and M&Ms.
Peanut butter Snickers bars.
Yeah, everything like that. Really good
Twix
stuff.
bars and like little, like Halloween size. But
some people have big hands there.
Yeah, they'll dump like 5 or 6 things in your bag or even more. And some of the trick-or-treat lines, you go past like 3 or 4 different buckets and they just like load you up.
And they're not.
And they give you a bag when you get in.
Yeah, and a little bag of candy.
Yeah. It's really fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I would recommend doing at least a few lines.
Yeah,
if you're interested in the candy.
I mean, because I don't think it took away from our experience at all. I mean, we did everything else we wanted to do: the parade, the fireworks, the special princess whatever show on the castle that they do every night anyway, the Hocus Pocus show, all the rides we wanted to do. We met Goofy, which was awesome because Chris was dressed up as Goofy.
Yes, wear a costume.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
Pretty awesome.
Light costume, don't go too heavy because you will be walking around a lot.
We've been talking about the sweets, but I mean, junk food wise, there's also some of the food you can get there. So why don't we talk about the toppings bars that we encountered?
We encountered 2. We went to Cosmic Rays and we went to Pecos Bills.
Yeah, both in the Magic Kingdom. There might be other toppings bars in other parks. We just didn't go.
Yep.
And
they're ridiculous.
They are ridiculous.
But great.
Cosmic Rays is not as ridiculous as Pecos Bills. Pecos Bills. It was. You say.
Okay, well the toppings bars are basically
all around me.
Toppings bars are basically you can get whatever you want. Like, they have all the toppings you want for your hamburgers, hot dogs, and everything. They have some of them are wide variety, particularly at Pecos Bills, which is sort of a Tex-Mex place. But the crazy thing is you can get as much as you want. In Pecos Bills, that includes sour cream, cheese, and guacamole, which tend to be the thing in Tex-Mex places that they give you a thimble-sized cup of it. So
I thought you said sour cream cheese.
No, sour cream, cheese,
okay.
Guacamole.
We got a ridiculous amount of guacamole.
Like, they always give you, like, places always charge you could make your money back on the guacamole if you really wanted to try. We got like 4 or 5 ice cream scoop size things of guacamole, and we chowed down on it. It was awesome. So if you're going to like a quick service, which is the place where you pay up at the counter,
sort of like McDonald's.
Yeah, so check for the toppings bars and go nuts.
Yeah.
The 2 that we tried were good. I understand. I think Casey's Corners also has one, which Allison hates Casey's Corners, so we never went in there. But there's a lot of places that have it. Worth checking out. I don't know about the other parks, but I know the Magic Kingdom has a few. Speaking of quick service, we should also talk about maybe one of your favorite quick service places.
Flame Tree Barbecue?
Flame Tree Barbecue.
Oh my goodness. That's one place where we shared a platter together.
And it was
meant
good.
for one person, but
it was good.
It was just enough for the two
the
of
mixed
us.
grill type thing.
Yeah, it was ribs, barbecue chicken, and pulled pork.
Very good.
Yeah, and it came with like cornbread and
Jalapeno
something
cornbread,
else.
surprisingly.
Yeah, and you were okay with it.
Wasn't too spicy.
There's tiny little pieces of jalapeno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're really, really sensitive, like you don't like anything hot, you might not like it. But if you're kind of sensitive, you'll be okay with it.
And we got one more thing that we haven't talked about yet.
What's that?
Mickey ice cream bars.
Mickey ice. It's a classic thing. There's the bars, and then there's the sandwiches.
Yeah.
So which I got. Well, we both tried both.
Yeah. I ate one of your ears.
She ate one of my ears. You had one defective sandwich. So
I did have a defective
Disney,
sandwich.
if you're listening to this, there was
check your sandwich ears.
There was an ear missing off one of the sandwiches.
Yeah.
We're not asking for something back. We're just making sure.
We're just telling you.
We're just telling you, yeah.
I didn't take away from my experience.
No.
I was gonna bite that ear off anyway,
Yeah.
so it just. I mean, the one of the cookies was there, was whole, and all of the ice cream was there, so it was just one cookie ear was missing.
Yeah. So aesthetically, it was a little off. But
Aesthetically, it was a really off, but I mean, I just wanted the cool ice cream because it was so freaking hot.
Yeah. So the one thing about Disney is there's snacking everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's healthy options too, but this isn't called, healthy food on the road.
No.
So
it was very junky.
was
Although we had some really good food too.
Yeah. There's some very fine food, and every park has some good.
And there's some
food.
excellent quick service. Like Seasons was one of the best quick service meals I've ever
very
had.
Good. Yeah. There's lots of options. Disney is definitely a place you can get some really good foods, both bad for you and good for you. Portion sizes are an issue. Like
they are ridiculous.
When you're making your reservations, put big gaps between things. Don't book every single meal. Make sure you have a meal off so you can do something light.
Yeah, we made a big mistake one day.
Yeah, there was one day we were toast.
The afternoon tea at the Grand Floridian, which is
a lot more than a couple of finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that unless you have a very light dinner or no dinner ahead of you.
Yeah.
Which we did not. We had the Hoop-de-Doo review after that.
Yeah, the Hoop-de-Doo review is another.
And that was the lightest thing we could get was just way too much for us.
Yeah.
All we wanted was a cup of tea and maybe a scone with some Devon cream.
Yeah.
But we had to get the sandwiches and the tarts and the everything. We got the smallest package we could. And once it's in front of you, you want to eat it, right?
Yeah, and then there's the Hoop-de-Doo review, which is they don't say all you can eat because apparently that's offensive. So they call it all you care to eat, which for some is a lot.
But the waiter kept looking really disappointed with us.
Yeah, because we went to the Hoop-de-Doo review
after
eating a lot of food that day, and it's good. It was like fried chicken. The ribs were pretty good, eh?
The ribs were okay. They weren't the best ribs I've ever had.
Yeah, it was.
Flame Tree Barbecue was better for the
but it was all good food, and then so they have all kinds of stuff like chicken and everything like that, and ribs, which are okay. But they have the strawberry shortcake, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but we hardly had any. And the waiter was like, "Is that all you're going to eat?"
Yeah.
We're like,
and there's a whole show, but the fun part about that is the show.
And the show was really interesting. You weren't eating while watching the show.
Except for the dessert.
And so it was kind of interesting the way they did that.
Yeah, they blended there's actually dinner theater to the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the show was to take breaks to eat.
Yeah.
They incorporated that into the show. So
it was brilliantly done.
Very well done. Oldest show in Disney. And obviously well polished.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
They put us right up next to the stage, which not nearly as awkward as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they don't really pick on you because you're at the front. No. They'll pick on you for a million other reasons, but not because you're at the front.
Yeah.
So, the other thing we should talk about before we go,
because this is running really long.
Yes, is the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Yes.
So that was on too while we were there, which is quite fortuitous.
I think we only had one sweet treat on that, but I was disappointed in the Scottish lamb stew.
Yes.
And I went back for more of the Patagonian beef skewers.
I was fairly happy. I thought, on the whole, I think it was great. I recommend it. It's expensive. You're not going to get a cheap meal out of this. This isn't like cheap appetizers that you can load up and if you're eating a meal there, you're going to pay more for a meal there than you will at many quick service and maybe even some sit-down restaurants because of the way it works. Sharing is a great idea if you can. We did that we did a round where we just sort of picked up food that we thought we'd like. So sharing is good. trying different things is good. I mean, there's definitely good things and bad things there. It's a lot of taste. There was this loaded macaroni and cheese, which I didn't really understand. It was good, made well, but kind of gross. But
we got to wrap this up because we got a toll plaza coming up.
Okay. So the cheese soup was the highlight for me.
Cheese soup was excellent. And then at Epcot, Spice World table in the Moroccan pavilion was, to me, an excellent meal.
Excellent meal.
We got all appetizers. We got, I think, 3 or 4 different appetizers that made a very nice meal for us.
They customized it to our taste.
They did. They were amazing. It was really, really good food. It wasn't necessarily Moroccan food. It was Mediterranean food. And they were very accommodating. They changed our reservation for us at the last second because of a rain thing. And very nice to us. Gave us a great seat. Gave us some great food. And all around, very, very enjoyable experience.
All around, I'd say Disney is a great place for a foodie.
Yeah, it really is a food destination.
Yeah.
As well as like ridiculous amounts of other fun.
Awesome. I think we can wrap this up.
I think we can. Good, because I need some money for a tour.
I don't have any money.
There's some in my bag.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to Junk Food on the Road. As always, you can follow us. Actually, I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Okay, hurry up! I need $2.
Allison needs $2. We'll stop it on. We'll be back later with more information about where you can contact us. Okay, we're through the toll. That was crazy. Thanks for listening. As always, you can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic. You can go to www.candycritic.org and you can find links to other social media and to our podcast. You can also go to www.candycritic.org/junkfood, JUNKFUD. You can obviously listen to this. You can find old episodes of this, as well as our video show, Chris, Why Would You Eat That? And thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Winter green snow just to